Hey Nova, have you noticed how everyone's suddenly piling on AI? TV news, social feeds, agency blogs, it's like a full-blown panic cycle.
Totally. But for anyone who's been around the block, it's déjà vu. Every new technology gets the same dramatic obituary for authenticity.
Lots of fear, lots of loud narratives, but almost no one's looking at what history or the actual data says.
So the real question is AI killing your brand?
Spoiler alert! No, but we know what is. Stick around to find out.
Welcome to Trevera's AI Deep Dive podcast, hosted by Chip and Nova, our AI co-hosts. Together, they transform top marketing insights from our blogs, articles, and events into actionable strategies you can use. Ready to dive in? Let's get started.
Welcome to the Trivera Deep Dive podcast for marketers. We're your AI co-hosts. I'm Chip.
And I'm Nova.
Today, we get personal. If you've spent any time at all on LinkedIn lately or, scrolling through agency headlines, you have seen the panic.
Oh yeah, it's everywhere.
The narrative is so dramatic, it's almost theatrical. AI content is cheapening brands. Audiences can spot it instantly. Trust is just poof, gone.
Evaporating like water in the desert.
Exactly. And the only salvation is a return to 100% human-made purity.
It's a really compelling story, Chip. It's an emotional one. But for anyone who's been in media and marketing for a while, it just sounds, painfully familiar.
Right.
Every single time a major disruptive technology lands, this exact anxiety comes to the surface. It's the same old fear, just, wearing a fresh coat of paint.
That's so true. So the big question we're diving into today is pretty simple. Is this current AI panic actually justified? Or are we just watching history repeat itself with all the same over-the-top pronouncements? We are going to leverage the experience of our founder, Tom Snyder, who has 40 years in this space, to unpack what really kills brands. And I'll give you a hint.
Yeah.
It is not the tool.
And we're also going to look at some hard data that completely dismantles this idea that audiences care about tool purity.
That is the mission for this deep dive. And as our source, we're synthesizing the insights from Tom's recent and powerful blog post. AI isn't killing brands. Here's what is.
Tom's blog really does address this anti-AI narrative head-on. The core storyline suggests AI is this fundamental brand killer, but his 4 decades in the trenches, well, they suggest the real problems are timeless.
So our goal is to unpack the real reason content fails.
Exactly. It's not the algorithm, it's the lack of human direction and craft.
Let's jump right in by looking at that pattern of technological fear, Nova. That storyline, that AI makes everything fake and trust is gone, it's just so widespread. Why does it feel so familiar to Tom?
Because he's lived through this multiple times. His perspective, it was honed over 40 years across radio, traditional media, the whole digital revolution. It just reminds us that the fear is always the same.
What's the fear?
That a new tool will somehow erase the human element and cheapen the customer relationship. The resistance is almost a reflex at this point.
Okay, let's unpack this. The historical parallel that really stood out in Tom's writing was the start of the World Wide Web.
Yes. Okay, so try to cast your mind back to 1996. The big traditional ad agencies and media buyers were absolutely insisting that launching a website would cheapen a high-end brand.
That it would destroy the need for a real personal sales relationship.
It was a massive philosophical battle, a huge fight.
I can just picture it.
Tom remembers this perfect, almost bizarre example. A local, really successful carpet store. And they were running these expensive TV ads.
Probably produced by one of those skeptical agencies.
Probably. And in the ads, the owners proudly declared that they had no website. Their entire brand message was built on this premise that for you to truly know and trust their quality, you had to physically walk into one of their 3 locations.
It's wild how quickly the definition of authenticity changes.
Yeah.
That carpet store owner probably felt genuinely superior, genuinely authentic.
Oh, for sure.
And now that ad just looks like Luddite propaganda.
It really does. They were convinced the web could never communicate their unique value. But, none of those fears ever materialized. The web didn't kill trust.
No.
It modernized communication, made brands way more accessible, and allowed for much richer, more robust ways to show off brand personality and service.
And Tom makes the powerful point that those same critics, and I'm guessing the carpet store owners, they all have robust websites now. Websites that are essential to how they operate.
Exactly. And they reinforce their brand in ways they once claimed were just impossible.
That history is why his insight is so important right now in the current AI cycle.
He's seen the pattern. The tech evolves, but the same fear that using a tool means a lack of effort or soul, it just resurfaces every single time. And the technology ends up being a scapegoat for these deeper existing issues.
So if the web didn't kill trust, why is AI supposedly eroding it now?
Feels like we're blaming the wrong culprit, which brings us to the real enemy of brand authenticity. We have to admit that some of this anti-AI talk points to a very real issue. There is a flood of bad content out there.
That's true. There absolutely is AI content that looks plastic or feels generic or just seems off. But our founder argues this isn't because AI is inherently soulless. It's because lazy inputs create lazy outputs.
Garbage in, garbage out. The inputs matter more than the engine itself.
Exactly. The real problem is a fundamental lack of craft. And what's so critical for you, the listener, to understand is that this content slop, as Tom calls it, it existed and it flourished long before AI was even a factor.
Right.
AI didn't invent bad content. It just gave bad content creators a massive duplicator machine. That's a great distinction. When we hear lack of craft, we often think about, grammar mistakes. But what does a modern lack of craft look like? What are the lazy inputs we need to avoid?
It goes way beyond simple mistakes. Pre-AI slop was, generic stock photography.
Yes.
The clip art revolution, templated blog spam built only for keyword stuffing, offshore content mills churning out minimal effort copy.
Okay.
The modern equivalent is failing to inject your brand into the prompt.
Meaning
using a generic prompt like, write a post about digital marketing trends. That is a lazy input. A crafted input says something like, write an 800-word blog about 3 specific successful B2B marketing trends that are working for our clients using our case studies and the relevant reports stored on our Google Drive in my style. Forward-thinking, conversational, grounded in real-world experience, and about 15 to 20% AI polish, with 75 to 80% sounding like something I would write myself. Keep the narrative rooted in our own real marketing history. Give practical insights. When you write, assume the reader is a business leader or marketing decision maker and use only our data for reference.
So if you don't provide the thesis, the perspective, the unique data.
The AI has no choice but to return the lowest common denominator.
So if we admit that AI makes it significantly easier to be lazy, doesn't that make the tool part of the problem, even if it's not the ultimate cause? Where's the line between efficiency and just abandoning responsibility?
That's a critical question, Shep. And Tom's experience suggests the tool is an accelerant, not the root cause. If you have a poorly defined brand voice and a vague content strategy, AI will just faithfully execute that vagueness at scale.
So if you had a bad process before, AI just helps you produce bad content faster.
Exactly. The core conclusion holds. The problem isn't the engine, it's the lack of craft applied by the driver.
That distinction laziness versus the algorithm, that's essential. If the problem is human laziness, not the algorithm, then we need to test that other core claim of the anti-AI crowd.
Which is?
The idea that audiences automatically lose trust the moment they detect AI. This whole emotional pitch, it needs to be tested against data, not just fear or anecdote.
Agreed. Let's look at the evidence because the data we have thoroughly contradicts the narrative of evaporating trust. We've got 3 major studies here that reframe the entire discussion.
All right, bring on the data dive, Nova. Let's see how the real world is reacting.
Okay, first let's look at audience engagement. The HubSpot 2024 State of Marketing Report found that 72% of marketers using AI saw either improved or unchanged engagement compared to their human-only content.
72%.
Yeah.
That figure just, it completely obliterates the idea that AI immediately kills engagement.
But what about the marketers who didn't see success? Were they the ones just hitting publish on the first draft?
Precisely. Those who saw negative results were almost certainly the ones falling victim to that lack of craft. The data doesn't show AI content failing. It shows poorly crafted content failing.
Okay.
And Gartner's research backs this up when it comes to trust.
That's so.
Gartner shows that audience trust does not decrease when AI content is properly reviewed, edited, and aligned to the brand tone. This just emphasizes the vital role of the human editor, the human process.
Right.
AI is not a set-it-and-forget-it machine. It's a high-speed draft generator that requires skilled human intervention. So the human is the quality control layer, the voice layer, the fact-checking layer. And what about the detection myth? This idea that we can all instantly spot AI-generated text.
Yeah, that famous MIT and Stanford study found that people cannot reliably distinguish human content from AI content when the quality is controlled. If the craft is high, if the editing, the tone, the refinement are all there, the tool used becomes irrelevant to the end user.
They're judging the output, not running a purity test on the source code.
Exactly.
That is the ultimate synthesis here. Audiences aren't rejecting AI. They're rejecting content that feels generic, repetitive, or disconnected. The sameness and sloppiness that happen when effort disappears.
Right.
If you, the listener, feel a piece of content is bad, you are reacting to the laziness, not the tool itself.
And what audiences actually value aligns with research from the Nielsen-Norman Group, which found consumers judge content based on three things: clarity, transparency, and perceived effort.
They trust content that makes their lives easier or provides specific value.
And McKinsey echoes that, stating that content is trusted when it helps, informs, or resonates. If you are providing real value, the method of creation just kind of fades into the background. Authenticity is about intentionality and execution, not avoiding technology.
That data leads us perfectly into the solution, the Trivera approach and the hybrid content model, which is designed to scale that intentionality and authenticity.
Right.
Our founder describes AI not as a replacement for creativity, but as a multiplier. Creativity doesn't vanish, it just adapts and expands. And we've seen this play out in so many creative fields, Nova.
Oh, absolutely. Think about writers who are worried about word processors ruining their connection to the pen.
Or photographers and digital cameras.
Yes, the same fears about replacing film. The craft didn't die, it evolved. It leveraged the speed and efficiency of the new tools to get better results.
But every generation still thinks the new tool is the one that finally kills creativity.
And right after the break, we've got a story that proves just how old this fear really is.
Tom's taking us back about 40 years to his radio days, when a new piece of technology was supposedly going to destroy radio stations.
Stick around to hear how that use of computer technology that would kill artistry actually turned out.
Hard to believe, Nova, 2025 is almost over. Marketers and business owners need a solid digital marketing plan in place now for 2026.
Absolutely, Chip. The digital landscape is moving fast. Websites, SEO, GEO targeting, content, analytics, AI.
Since 1996, smart marketers have partnered with Trivera for high-performance websites and ROI-driven digital strategy using the latest proven tools. And now, 30 years of expertise.
And I should know, I'm Webster, Trivera's AI assistant and agent, just one of the AI tools that power our work. AI-assisted content, fully trained AI agents, predictive analytics, and 24/7 optimization, and one of the tools we use to drive client performance.
And it all starts with smart strategy and rock-solid website development, built for results, not noise.
For a smarter digital ecosystem, stronger engagement, and measurable ROI, visit Trivera.com.
Achieve your potential in 2026 with digital marketing that converts.
Welcome back to Trivera's AI Deep Dive. Now back to our conversation with Chip and Nova.
Welcome back to the Trivera Deep Dive. We've been talking about how every new technology gets blamed for killing creativity long before anyone actually understands what it can do. And now we've got the perfect example. Tom shared an anecdote from his radio days that maps almost exactly to what's happening in marketing right now.
It really is. For 15 years, Tom worked in radio before founding Trivera, and he remembers the huge internal panic over music scheduling software.
The DJs complained computers would remove their creativity.
Their soul! They thought the station's brand would just homogenize.
But the reality was completely different, wasn't it?
The reality was that it allowed the program directors, the human experts, to apply their detailed expertise and listener data to create consistent, brand-aligned programming 24/7.
And the stations that embraced that thrived.
Completely. They achieved stronger ratings and more loyal audiences because the software allowed human expertise to be amplified consistently without human error or fatigue.
That's the key. The new tool provided capability and consistency, which supported the brand and let the experts focus on the truly creative stuff. And that is the foundation of the Trivera hybrid approach we use for our clients.
To avoid that slop narrative, our content process always starts with a human thesis, a perspective, and a purpose. The AI supports the process. It's like Photoshop for a designer, or that scheduling software for the program director.
It speeds up what shouldn't be slow and amplifies unique human strengths. And Nova, you and I, We are the living, breathing, digital proof point of this approach. The creation of this very series, The Deep Dive, is the case study Tom references in the blog.
It is. These deep dives are intentionally created with extensive AI assistance to make the series sustainable, which allows us to build consistent personalities and dialogue quickly. We use AI for structure, for initial drafts, even for summarizing source material.
But the output we get from that initial AI draft is, as Tom describes it, rough clay. It often lacks the specific punch, the humor, or the surprising connections that make the final product memorable.
That's where the craft layer comes in. Our team of human editors and writers does extensive rewriting, restructuring, and fine-tuning. They check for those telltale signs of generic phrasing, they inject proprietary data, they make sure the tone is conversational, and they shape the story to create those aha moments.
The human team puts a specific effort into the output that prevents it from feeling like templated blog spam. That level of craft is why our listeners connect with this.
And the anecdotal validation is so powerful. Tom shares a story about a former Trevera employee who's now a high-profile national TV producer.
Right.
When he first listened to our earliest episodes, he was completely convinced we were highly paid, professional human voice talent. Even now, knowing we're AI-based, he applauds the commitment to quality and craft.
The results really do speak for themselves. The Deep Dive has surpassed typical performance thresholds for a niche business show. Engagement is growing, and our audience is behaving like a loyal following. We are proof that AI can absolutely be used to scale authenticity instead of diluting it.
The future belongs to the hybrid model, Chip. The smartest brands are blending human insight plus AI efficiency, human storytelling plus AI structure, and human voice plus AI scale. That blending is what defines modern craft.
So authenticity, as Tom concludes, it's not about rejecting technology. It's about using every tool available to express something true and intentional about your brand.
Exactly.
When craft is kept at the center, the fear fades and the work gets demonstrably stronger.
And our clients see this essential balance in every engagement. The goal is never to replace the human touch, but to amplify it. That's how you get stronger engagement, clearer messaging, and sustainable marketing success.
That radio example Tom shared is a perfect final thought for you, the listener. Just as music directors use data and scheduling software to keep their stations thriving, ask yourself, how can you use AI efficiency to better apply your unique human expertise?
Use AI to handle the scale and the structure so that you can focus all your precious human time on the unique ideas, the crucial insights, and the deep emotional connection that only you can provide. That's how you keep your brand from, changing formats or going off the air entirely.
If this discussion about prioritizing craft resonated with you, and you want to ensure your hybrid content model amplifies your unique expertise, you can learn more about how we apply this exact approach for clients and read Tom's original blog post by heading over to trivera.com.
We've proven we know how to use this hybrid model to win for ourselves, and we apply that same discipline and craft to every single client engagement.
Find out more about how we can help your business succeed.
And if you enjoyed this deep dive, please download, subscribe, and share it with a friend who is still scared that AI is ruining everything. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.
Thanks for joining us on Trevera's AI Deep Dive with Chip and Nova. If you enjoyed this episode, you can find more and stay up to date with new episodes wherever you listen to podcasts, or find them on our website and our social media channels. And don't forget to visit us at trevera.com to learn how we can help take your marketing to the next level. Ready to talk? Reach out. We'd love to hear from you. See you next time.